Welcome to the Tech Report podcast, where we help businesses survive, thrive, and create value.
Well, welcome everybody to the Tech Report, the podcast that is all about helping businesses survive, thrive, and create value, especially in our trying environment today. And I'm your host, Brad Stoller. Well, today I'm really excited to have our guest with us today. I've admired him from a distance, and he's just one of those people. They really have their act together. And I can't say that about everybody. But he's the owner of Family Foot and Ankle Specialist in Piscataway, New Jersey. He's the director of physical programming with Top Practices, which is a leading source of business training in the podiatry industry. And he's also the author of an extremely successful book called The Podiatry. I'm not sure how it's worded, but it's Podiatry Practice with the word practice crossed off. Business Solution. I'll show you what it looks like. I thought it was one of the catchiest ways that you could title a book, and I just thought that was really creative. So hats off. And he's just a great person who really seems genuinely interested in helping other podiatrists and just business owners just help build up their businesses and make their lives better. So he's also a very dedicated person and a student of business. So if you don't have to be a podiatrist to get a lot out of here today. The principles he has in his book, and I think what he's going to talk about here today, I think really applies to any business. So it's my pleasure to introduce Dr. Peter Wishnie. So Dr. Wishnie, welcome to the Tech Report podcast.
Thanks, Brad. Really glad to be here. And that was a mouthful.
It was. I try to keep it short and sweet, but you've done a lot of things, so it's kind of hard to fit it all in there. So I'm going to let you do a little more of that talking, I guess. But, well, I know you've got a fascinating story, and I've been looking forward to this episode for a long time. But you've just been wildly successful at building up your own business, and really you've done a lot of good with helping others do the same. So I know our listeners always seem to like hearing how speakers, how did they get to where they are today? Right. So how did you end up being an expert in the podiatry, I'm going to say business, and we'll go over that in a little bit here, but was it an easy path for you, or did you struggle like some of the others that we've talked to?
I'm just guessing that everyone who is successful today definitely struggled, because that's what makes you stronger. That's what makes you have a thirst of knowledge and just find a way to get it done and learn how to do it. I was 29 years old when I opened my practice, and we call it practice then because I didn't know what I was doing. So I was actually practicing. Right. I didn't have the solution then. I never really wanted to work for anyone. I had offers, and you know what? People told me, I just was talking about this the other day. My uncle told me, go work for somebody, learn the trade, learn how to run a business, and then do it yourself. I never listened to him. I never even thought about for 1 second that maybe he's right. He was a very good businessman himself, but it was not like he was a close uncle of mine and didn't know me and didn't know my drive. And the worst thing could happen is I don't know what I'm doing, but I know people who do. And I did spend time in my residency with other doctors and learning how they run their business. So I took their knowledge and I worked my butt off. And lo and behold, this is what I did. And I guess the biggest thing I had to learn from day one is how to get and keep staff. So the story was that my father was, he worked in the garment center. So if you're from New York, you might understand that's a whole different environment.
Oh yeah, definitely.
That is where you had this big room. I remember as a little kid going to his office. I love going to his office, but it's a huge, gigantic room. Everybody had their own desk, and everybody's on the phone. It's smoking like crazy, and you had to like waft through all the smoke to go see him. And they'd be like cursing on the phone, yelling at each other, stuff that you would not do in a normal business environment, like curse at your coworker. I mean, really say crazy things. and no one, like, maybe it's a New York thing. I think it's a garment center, New York thing. And they go, whatever, shrug it off and just go about your day. So I didn't realize that, everybody comes from a different background. Not everyone has that New York sarcasm and understanding that kind of humor. So I basically would say things in tongue in cheek, and people would take it personally.
Mm-hmm.
And I couldn't keep a staff member to save my life. And I realized that it wasn't who I was hiring, it was the guy doing the hiring. And so I had to learn how to actually change and become a better leader and a better boss. Yeah.
Well, that's interesting, because I do remember when I was younger and I was a former golf professional. I remember one of my very first positions that I took, we had our superintendent was from the New York area. And I know what you're talking about. He came in there and why is he always yelling and swearing at everybody? And understand where you're coming from. So he did not change, by the way, and people had a real tough time in the Midwest, with
Oh
this.
boy.
Yeah, we weren't used to that. So we always thought
No.
there's something wrong with this guy, but it's just the way it is, I guess. But well, that's interesting. So, well, I know you, and I've already shown the book, I guess, but let's talk about that a little bit. The podiatry practice / business solution, which really, I read through it. It really addresses a real problem medical offices really everywhere. And that is, it's not, you can't think of your medical business as a practice. You have to think of it as a business. And I thought that was a really good message. So I'm just kind of curious, what led you to write the book, and tell us, what you were hoping that business and practice owners everywhere would really get out of reading your book.
So when I first started my practice, there's not one podiatrist that wrote a book on business. I read books that were written by dentists, chiropractors, and even a urologist who wrote a business book. And I then also read books about sales from salespeople, and nothing to do with the medicine, just books on business. And
Right.
It's a business. It's the same setup, and you can't see it, but behind me is my marketing organization board. But
yes, I'm a whiteboard kind of guy. I saw that right away. Yeah, that's perfect.
and in front of me is my office organization board. So I have, where it says, who's the executive division, the personnel division, marketing, production division, sales, all that stuff, all written down just like a regular business, because it is. You have to treat it like a business. So when I finally, and I'm still every day, you never figure it out, right? I mean, you always the great thing about business, if you own a business, you need to love change. Things constantly change. So when you think you got it right and you're sitting back, that's when you get trouble. And I got it. Everything's great. The money's coming in. Everything's great.
That's when the things hit the fan.
That's when it starts going down.
Yep, exactly.
That's right. So, but then there's so many of us out there, especially podiatrists, who I feel they need help. And I wrote the book because here it is. In a condensed format, I put everything in that thing. There's so much information about systems and protocols and getting your patients to refer other patients. We talk about Facebook ads, not in this book, but marketing, people do Facebook ads. We do. But if you're starting out, all you have to do is take care of your customer, in this case, your patient, and they will refer other patients. We have this belief, and I think it's in all businesses, that we take care of our customer patient. All of a sudden, they're going to start talking to 10 people, and your phone's going to be ringing off the hook. If you're just good, maybe they'll refer a patient or a customer to you. You have to be exceptional, especially today. And there's so much information out there. You have to go beyond that. You have to be so exceptional that they remember you in order to do that. But it's cheaper. In the old days, I would say the yellow pages. But now it's cheaper than Facebook ads or putting your name on a big neon sign on the highway. It's cheaper. And that, it's okay. But now you have to keep them. Then you have to get them to refer other people. So it is totally a business, and you don't even realize it, but it's a business.
Well, that reminds me, as you're talking about that, what's going through my head is that I remember, when I lived in Toledo, Ohio, we went to a dentist, and everybody loves to go to the dentist, right? Okay. But when we went there, I actually had a good time, if you can believe that, at the dentist of all places. But I know when we walked in the door, there was somebody there to greet you immediately. And they didn't, ignore you on the phone. They're busy and all that stuff and looking down like that. No, 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 no. They actually, I think, if I recall, it's been a few years now, but I think I remember the lady was on the phone. She looked up, watched on the phone, said one of those, hey, just a minute, thanks. And man, she had a big smile on her face. Then the person that came took me back. She was just personable as all get out, and she sat in the chair. Is this comfortable? And all, what? And by the time the dentist actually got to me, I'm just having a great time. And the dentist actually didn't spend a lot of time with me, as most of them don't. It's their staff. And they did such a good job that I actually look forward to going back, if you can believe that, at a dentist. So I hear what you're saying, and that's a case in the point. And yeah, it works. They were busy.
Yep.
Good.
Exactly.
So, well, I know that you touched just a little bit, just a couple seconds ago, on leadership. But I'd like to talk about that a little deeper, because in your book, you've really hit on this a lot, and the role that leadership plays in business. And we talked a little earlier, like I said, and you mentioned that your next focus was going to be on leadership. So tell us why you feel so driven to help business owners become better leaders.
So this is what I found. I know that many people out there who are business coaches and practice management coaches, and they talk about getting patients, getting clients, getting customers. They talk about systems and protocols. Trust me, those areas are so important. But if you truly want to make more money while working less, that means you need to develop a great team. That means you need to be a better leader to develop leaders around you. And by the way, that's a book from John Maxwell, and I'm a John Maxwell certified leadership coach. And he Develop the Leaders Around You.
I think he's about 84 books now, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
So he writes a book like every week, it seems like.
I know, I think
he's really good. I follow him too.
And then some guy is just typing away.
Oh, yeah. He's the master at delegating, that's for sure. He's excellent at it.
Yeah. So, that's why it's so important, because I realize I have a gratitude journal, and I write in it every morning. And I always write something about a key staff member or the whole staff. Imagine going away on vacation for a week, 2 weeks. Well, when we were able to go on vacation.
Yes, exactly.
Right. Yeah. And you come back and your inbox is empty. Your messages are being taken care of. Okay. That only happens when you have a great staff. Not just, but they're great because you have a company mission and vision, and you taught your team how to make decisions based on your mission and vision. So everybody's on the same page. Now, they might not make the decision you would, and that's the part where owners need to get away from micromanaging. Did you get the results that you want?
Right.
Okay. That's what you go by. I'm so big on analytics and graphs and statistics. As long as I get those results and people are producing and they're happy and take care of them, that's all that matters. Now, can we make the systems more efficient? That's where you bring your team together and you ask them. You don't tell them. We are so busy telling people what to do, because you know why, Brad? It's faster. It's faster for me to tell you what to do than asking you, what do you think we should do? Because then you might have a long-winded answer, and I got to think about it, and I got so many things to do. But that's the only way you empower them. And it's cheaper than giving them a raise, because studies have shown that they want to be empowered, especially today's generation, the millennials. They want to think. They want to have an input into the organization, and that's a great thing.
Yeah, exactly. And I think you hit it right on the head, because I've looked in this as well, and especially the millennials, and that they really, really like to feel that they're contributing. And if they don't feel that, they'll go somewhere else, and it's not always about the money, is it? They want to feel like they're doing something that's valued.
Right.
So good point. Good point. So I know that I'd be in a lot of hot water. Okay. So I'll just get this out of the way. If I didn't mention your involvement with the incredibly successful podiatry community called Top Practices. You know, we had one of your partners, Rem Jackson, on the show a few weeks back. So that's why I say I'll be in hot water if I don't bring this up.
That's right. Exactly.
But so
Me too. I think I'd be in same hot water.
He's going to hunt me down if I don't bring this up. No, you guys, I really admire what you guys do. But talk to us a little bit about Top Practices, you know, and why so many podiatrists continue to keep coming back. They pay their fee every month, and they've been there for years, and they keep learning more and more and more about their operations. So just talk to us a little bit about what that is, and give us an idea of why so many people are so loyal to you guys.
Yeah. So it's Rem Jackson's company that he started in 2007. And ours, in his very first, what they called a summit, I don't know if it was called a summit back then, it was a small group of us. And he put on a great meeting for a couple of days. And I went up to him afterwards. I said, one day we're going to work together. And because he was all, so he just started his business. He goes, who's this guy? So he does all the marketing for podiatrists. And then I said to him, we need to get some practice management involvement. So I started working with him, and between himself and me and a lady named Tina Del Bono, who's a office manager for her husband's practice in California, we actually help podiatrists, become more efficient, better business people, get more patients, make the office, help them with making decisions. And I think what sets them apart, the group from everyone else, is that we do mastermind. So Rem does a marketing mastermind as well as a true mastermind a couple times a month. And when you get a group of people, and even if it's on a phone call, sharing ideas and keeping you fresh and just allowing your creativity to set in, just imagine a group of people like working together to make you successful. It's unheard of, especially in the medical field, where the guy down the street is going to call you up. Let me tell you what you're doing wrong and how you can make your practice better. That's not going to happen. The guy's probably very happy that you're not doing well and he's doing fine. Right. But
he wants your patience.
He wants your patience. So imagine having other podiatrists trying to help you. Yeah. Not the guy down the street. He's not helping you, but docs from all over the country helping you, and even in a couple of countries helping you succeed. It's a true mastermind. And then we just came back from Vegas, and we had a actual mastermind. We sat around, socially distanced, and shared ideas, helped solve each other's problems, and actually coach them to what they need to do. Right? They want to scale their practice. How do we get to that next level? What do I need to do? You might have some ideas, but you can never do it alone. Having other people help you, tell you this is what I've done, take this suggestion, and it's just phenomenal. It's a great thing. You should never feel like you're alone in business, because you shouldn't be. You can't be successful doing things by yourself.
Yeah, I agree. And also you mentioned, I heard you say the word accountable. And when you get a mastermind group, so to speak, it does help. It's easy as an entrepreneur, practice business owner. It's easy because you're getting some money coming in the door and you feel pretty comfortable. Mm-hmm. And so you don't push yourself. But if you've got a mastermind group and you're partnered up, let's say if you and I are partners and I'm just kind of coasting along here, and then all of a sudden you call me out on it. Or if I think you're going to call me out on it, I may not coast. I may push myself to do things better. So I'm a big believer in that mastermind thing too. And I think that what you guys do is just absolutely incredible. So, well, I know we've covered a lot today, and but what is one big thing I guess we've left out so far that you feel is really important for everybody concerning their businesses? And maybe I'm not just talking about podiatry. I mean, just business in general. What would you say to that?
Well, I have a few things, but like I just mentioned before, and I'll add something to it. Don't do it alone. you can't see like in my own practice, okay? I could tell you in about 5-10 minutes after speaking to you what you might need in your business. But I'm looking from the outside.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. When you're in it, it's hard to sometimes to see what you need. I could look at my numbers and have ideas I need, but I sometimes refer to a consultant myself. So no matter how Michael Jordan had a coach, okay, the best have a coach. So don't do things alone. If you want to go from A to B, and the accountability that you mentioned, where you know what, I need you, maybe if it's a different business, I need you to make 10 prospecting calls per day. And so when I call you next week, you better have 50 calls done, okay? Or whatever goal we set forth, you're accountable, you're going to get it done because you have to get on that phone call and say, you know what, I want to lose weight, but I ate those cheese puffs today, and, and I gained a few pounds, I'm supposed to lose a few pounds. And you won't when someone is like in your head. So one is don't do it alone. Two is make good, quick decisions. The problem with business owners, a lot of the problems are that we don't want to take risks, we don't want to fail, and we have fear of failure. So then we are like handcuffed in making decisions. And when we're handcuffed, we might be losing really good opportunities.
Yeah, exactly.
And so,
exactly.
yeah, so take their risk, calculate a risk, and just do it, and do it with gusto, with high energy. Do everything you do with high energy, because it's the energy that people perceive from you is what's going to get your next sale. It's that energy that getting these customers, patients, clients, referring other people, because you have high energy. That's what they see. They see my diploma, but everybody has the same diploma. We're all doctors.
Well, we hope so. Yeah. We would hope they have that diploma. Yes.
So we didn't pay some guy,
That's another episode, but yes. Oh, great. Well, I have a feeling there are going to be quite a few people who watch this, and they're probably going to want some more information. First of all, they're probably going to want to look up, hey, how can I get my hands on your book? They're going to want some questions about top practices to improve their podiatry practice. And I've watched you on LinkedIn. You've got some posts, and I remember the one that showed you were eating an avocado slice, and you talked about oatmeal in the morning. So, gosh darn it, I didn't have the crappy breakfast I was going to have, so I had oatmeal, and I didn't have an avocado. But hey, I did. You influenced me a little bit for a couple of days.
There you go. Cool.
So, but anyways, so how do people reach you if they have some questions?
So email me at peter@toppractices.com. You can message me on my Instagram, which is Wishnie, Wishnie. It's probably the best two ways to get me.
Okay, sounds good. Well, once again, a special thanks to Dr. Peter Wishnie for taking the time out of his busy schedule, and I do mean a busy schedule, to help us really just get a better perspective on our business and leadership principles. And I really hope that anyone listening will take a little what they learned today and just apply it. And I think we'll all be better if we just apply some of the things you've said today. So Dr. Wishnie, thanks again for being with us here today.
Thank you, Brad, for having me. Appreciate it.